Morning, everyone. It's a lovely day out, isn't it? Okay. How's everybody today? But wouldn't it be great if we could open the windows in here and get some of that gorgeous fall breeze going in? Because it is a lovely day outside. It really is. Okay. All right, are we ready to get started? Okay, well, good morning, everyone. I'm here to announce that today I will be signing Executive Order number 91. With that, the City of St. Louis will resume under a strong legal framework the city's issuance of minority, women-owned business enterprise certification. Once policies based on this framework are implemented, which we will be pivoting to completing quickly here, we will resume non-emergency contracts involving city public works projects. The City of St. Louis proudly remains committed to using its spending powers in a way that effectively and fairly addresses the disparities documented in contracting. We have complete confidence in this, and we will stand up to legal scrutiny, and this will be effective. Let me tell you how we got to this point and what it means. Following a pause in issuing new MWBE contracts implemented in early August, we hired through SLDC a consulting firm, Griffin and Strong. This is an entity, a consulting entity. Recognized nationally as experts. Griffin and Strong is recognized nationally as experts in economic development and disparity programs. They have historically done work for the City of St. Louis. They're very familiar with not only St. Louis, but other cities in our area, St. Louis County. They recently did a disparity study there. They're very widely known and widely respected for their work. This firm did not only analyze the city's MWBE program, and the 2024 disparity study, but also crafted legally sounded recommendations enabling the city to again fully resume all MWBE contracting activities. This thorough analysis of our city's ordinances, the 2024 disparity study, and case law. The firm also held numerous discussions over the last 10 days, actually 12 days, with members of the minority contractor community, organizations including the NAACP of St. Louis, and members of the Board of Alderpersons. Following this process, Griffin and Strong delivered to the City of St. Louis a draft executive order rooted firmly in current law, and this is the basis upon which Executive Order 91 was built. What Executive Order number 91 does, it means that the City of St. Louis will resume minority and women business enterprise certification and will soon resume solicitation and execution of public works contracts with a shift to ensuring equity on a project-specific basis. We know that this methodology is rooted in case law and is grounded in the city's 2024 disparity study. The disparity study analyzed the degree to which the city has succeeded or failed in contract in the MWBE business space, including in promotion of the number of MWBE businesses in different categories in the local market. With this executive order, SLDC will resume MWBE certification effective immediately, and SLDC will be working with our city departments to issue rules about how to calculate the project-specific goals. The order further directs SLDC and our city departments to consider all recommendations in the 2024 disparity study and assist the Board of Aldermen in crafting the required legislation, a new board bill to update our city code to reflect the findings in the study. And with that, this is a day to celebrate. Following the pause, I am enormously grateful for the contracting community, the Board of Aldermen, the community in general from coming forward and participating in the conversations, the working sessions that we held over the last 12 days to get to where we are. I feel very confident that this is on sound legal ground, and this is not only sound legally, but is rooted in a path to addressing the clear disparities that were outlined in the 2024 disparity study, and will move our city, our region forward in very meaningful ways for not only our minority contracting community, but the city as a whole. And with that, we'll take a few questions.
Mayor, what do you think is important? Like, what's the message that it sends, and why is it significant in your mind going forward to have this reinstated?
Well, you know, I will say, I mean, the original, I mean, the disparity study, several of which, 3 of which have been conducted here in the city of St. Louis over many, many years, going back to the Harmon administration, have identified clear disparities in the awarding of contracts in our community. This results in disparities that ripple throughout our community in very clear economic ways. And we have a duty to address those disparities as a community, and that is what the disparity studies were commissioned to identify and give us a path to address and rectify. And you know, pausing this, we recognize that we didn't have policies in place to reflect the 2024 disparity studies. That's where we were in this sort of legal limbo. And with this work and the framework that Griffin and Strong have provided us, we've rectified that. We are going to be putting in the policies in place that reflect the 2024, the most recent disparity study, and that is what is creating that strong legal footing for us to be able to move forward with this.
Mayor, do you anticipate federal pushback on this? And the other, it's a two-parter. The previous administration was having difficulty qualifying people quickly enough. There was a huge backlog. And now we're talking also reviewing projects, project by project, and delays your money. So how are you going to?
Well, I am confident that we have addressed the legal concerns here, relying and leaning into the work that Griffin and Strong has done, not only for the city of St. Louis, but across the nation here. I am confident that we've addressed those concerns from the national front. But related to the speed at which we can certify minority contracts, you know, I can let SLDC speak to that. But this is, I have to say, the record speed with which we were able to do this work really shows and highlights the priority that this is for SLDC, for our city, and I'm confident that we can move forward. I'll let Otis speak a little bit about that. Otis, I apologize, you gotta stand, you don't need the box.
Right. Well, I'll get a little height.
There you go.
Let me first start by thanking the companies that are behind me and the organizations that are behind me, because working with them, we were able to get to this point. So it was not only the NAACP, but all of the organizations that are concerned about fair representation in the workplace and among companies. To speak to the speed by which we can work our program and to get up to speed, both from certification and compliances, we are looking at augmenting our workforce with maybe contract support, but that has not yet happened, but that will be something that we'll be looking at very, very soon.
Thank you.
Excuse me, people are outraged that the SLDC appropriated $1 million to a company who was just formed 2 months after the tornado, and for the person that's over it, they're in New Zealand and don't even have a St. Louis address for their company. How can you justify giving somebody $1 million and the people that was here from day one, they haven't got anything, nor have they been brought to the table?
Okay, so let me say this, that what we did was to put out an RFP for companies to provide the services that we needed in order to work with the redevelopment activities in the recovery. We received 12 proposals, Of those 12, we reviewed those using a standing committee within SLDC to look at them. We narrowed it to 4, which we then interviewed those 4, all of them having some form of experience in disaster support. I think the key that the first committee looked at was the fact that we had significant experience with the project manager lead for the Kia company, and the fact he was very significant in the support of us working all of the needs that we had for the NGA. And so he had worked very closely with all of the city departments and with a number of organizations around the city, and had done an outstanding job. That was one of the keys.
Well,
The second part of that is that we then took that recommendation to what we call the standing committee, which included representation from both the president of the Board of Aldermen's office, the comptroller's office, and the mayor's office, and 2 people from SLDC. It was unanimously supported to move forward with this particular candidate. We think that this particular candidate is very experienced, very qualified, and will do a great job.
So isn't it a slap in the face for the people that were down there from day one, grabbing their pennies and their nickels, getting people the resources, and that company that you speak of wasn't down there, and they wasn't formed until 2 months later. So isn't that a slap in the face for the people that were down there from day one?
Well, we only could evaluate the companies that submitted a proposal. And so I don't think we had a slap in the face of anyone that submitted. I think it was a very fair and equitable process.
Let's do 2 more questions and then we'll get to Bill Stein.
Mr. Williams, we already had a disparity study that showed there was a disparity.
Yes.
So what was changed or updated in the executive order to make it now okay and beyond the threat to Donald Trump?
Well, nothing is 100%. So let me just say that what we're looking at here is the fact that we are now working based on the new disparity study that was completed in 2024. That is very key. And that we also made one significant modification, which is also to include a project-by-project evaluation in determining the goal.
Mayor?
I can add, just, add to that, just real quickly. There was between the disparity study and the policies we had in place, they were not aligned. And that project-by-project component here is the basis upon the main sort of crux of the change here. And it is a significant change, and we do feel like this puts us on much firmer legal standing to be able to implement it.
Mayor, the U.S. Attorney did say last week, though, in a filing in the Left Living case, that programs with race and sex-based presumptions are unconstitutional as determined by the DOJ. What did they say? Where did they come after?
Well, we feel, again, we're confident that we're standing on firm legal ground here. This is specifically to address disparities that are very clearly outlined in the study that was completed in 2024.
Don't we have, like, requests pending FEMA and federal government?
We do have requests pending, and again, we are confident that this is on firm legal ground. This is why we conducted these studies. We had those concerns, Austin. That's why we paused the issuing of contracts until we established the firm legal grounding upon which this executive order was built, and we feel confident moving forward. We had to, I'm glad you brought this up because, those concerns, the concerns about the pending request for the Army Corps of Engineers, the pending request for public assistance for FEMA, the pending request for the necessary community development block grant funds that hundreds of millions of dollars we're going to need from the federal government to be able to make our community whole, to rebuild the community impacted are significant things on the line. And that is why that's why the pause was initiated. We recognize that we are really holding in the balance here a lot here. And we feel like being very cautionary was the approach to take from the beginning, and that is where we entered this pause. But again, standing on the work that Griffin and Strong did along with our community here, putting in line the 2024 disparity study with the path forward, making it project specific, is the path that we feel has the strongest standing and balances the risks with the very necessary work that we need to do to make our community more equitable in a general sense.
Could we just, I mean, is there a possibility that we could just be right back to where we were yesterday?
Right back where we were with,
If they pull it,
if who pulls what?
if the feds, deny requests, things like that, should we be back in a pause again?
Look, we feel very confident about the way we're moving forward here today. I am looking forward to signing this executive order and moving forward. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Did anybody, did we want to offer anybody to say a quick word or two before we sign?
Yafet El-Amin with MoCan Construction and Contractors Assistance Center. We would like to thank Mayor Spencer, her administration, as well as Griffin and Strong for all of their help with the City of St. Louis for the reinstatement of the program. One of the things that we need to understand is that this program, with the disparity study, is remedying aspects of discrimination. So we just do not have a DEI program. We have a program that is remedying the past effects of discrimination. We are confident with standing with the city that this will upstand and withstand legal muster. MoCan APCA stands ready alongside the city to defend the city's program federally, state, as well as locally. We believe it's the right thing to do to move diversity forward in our community. We commend Mayor Spencer for her valor and her efforts to reinstate the program.
Good morning. I'm Mikhail Ali with APCA. I'd like to thank the mayor, and also I'd like to thank Otis Williams for their tireless effort in getting this done. And I'm gonna take it real brief. History shows us that you could test a true leader in the time of crisis, because a true leader doesn't operate out of fear and what if. They operate out what's right for the people. And the mayor showed exemplary that she's the sign of a true leader, because I know she got a lot of opposition from different people, but don't do it. What if? So did King, so did all the heroes before, but she stood on what was right. And we're gonna back her up. Thank you very much.
Are we ready to sign the order?